All right, Podocasters, that was Melanie with a brand new key. And that was a huge hit for the lady back in 1971. And what a year it was. Now, special little giveaway here for the remaining Podocasters on this post-apocalyptic radio station. The first person to type in the chat bar the name of the following band will win a shiny 50, you know what, let's do a $100 Jackal token from yours truly himself. So if you know it, type it. And off.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, welcome to the new and improved podcast.
Yay!
Through the highs and the lows for 4 years running, the podcasts have been here for you, bringing the victories and the defeats, the joys and the sorrows, and we're just getting started. I'm your show producer, Bella, the coordinator of the chaos. And if you want to talk to Scott, you got to get through me first, so be nice. Here at the podcast, we do it a bit different. We're all about the investment element of crypto, no hype, but rational and objective context of what we are buying and what we are selling, and we strive to be entertaining and informative while we do it. So strap in, fill your glass, and without any further ado, I give you the Podocaster himself, the one and only Great Scott. Dazzle me, boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, welcome to the podcast. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And G. Taurus, yes, sir, you win. The name of the band was Jackal. I thought it was incredibly appropriate. And the song itself, I Stand Alone, I also thought that was incredibly appropriate because there was a time exactly 5 months ago. 5 months ago to the day, where little Jackal was sitting down there at 2 cents, and that's the only thing going through my head is I stand alone. But I had a CEO, a whole development team that are all doing the same thing going, Jeez. Lonely on the Island, things worked out. There it is right now. You can see it on the ticker, so you know what, yay for us. But it's a great night for a stream because the whole market is popping off after the chop. Jackal's booming. It's a great time. Good energy. I actually scripted this. So if you see my eyes going this way, it's because I actually scripted my monologue tonight because the point that I want to make, I consider it important, and I didn't want to leave anything out. So why am I in Jackal? A couple reasons. One, I work in the industry, and I've been working in the industry for 25 plus years. So I am very, very, very familiar with infrastructure, what it is, what it takes. And this is important. You should write this number down anyway, how much it costs. If you really knew what went into these big data centers, how much money is flowing through them every hour of every day, if you really grasped how massive of an industry this is growing into, you'd feel the same. Because we are talking $300 billion annually and only growing. It is staggering. But cost is important. Cost is everything. Demand is only going up. And the more digitized we make our world, every new app, anything that takes pictures, anything that sends messages, everything, it's only increasing demand, and I couldn't be happier about that. It's a simple value proposition for me. Jackal supplies a product that is in demand, and the demand is only increasing, and they are doing it very inexpensively. Patrick and I are going to get into that and explain that a little bit, but it's really, really simple math. Now, that's the value reason that I'm in Jackal. Good product. It functions. It's inexpensive. No ingress or egress charges. Hot storage. Very, very easy. But why do I support the team? And this is actually the point I want to make on this one. This is the big one. It's it's a big question that has a very, very easy answer. Jackal is doing this a bit differently than most other people, and they are definitely not like the majority of crypto. They are doing this honestly. They did not overraise. They raised enough to get it off the ground and on its way. So I'm not terribly worried about early VCs coming in here and smashing my bags. That's important. And the team is fully doxed, and team wallets are public. Don't believe me? Ask Patrick. He will literally post them in chat. Do you know what that means? Do you understand the implications? It means I don't have to be concerned about the team, the people I am supporting, dumping on me. Now, just imagine that. Imagine investing in a product you like without wondering when, when the wicked rug is going to come. We have made it a rite of passage in crypto to get absolutely smashed by the developers. But it doesn't have to be this way, and it should not be this way. So why am I in Jackal? Excellent product, unique in this market, and a team that I can trust. It's not the way crypto is, but it's sure the way I would like it to be. So when I find it, I latch on. And that's it, guys. That's the world's shortest monologue from the world's longest-winded host. Now, you guys know how we do these interviews at the podcast here. I get the first bit, and you guys finish it up. So if you got questions for Patrick, get them in, and they're going to be asked in the order received. Ask anything. I cannot promise that he's going to answer it, but we will certainly ask it. So with no further ado, Patrick, are you ready to go, sir?
I'm muted, actually. No, it's always great to be here. I remember, Scott, the first crypto interview I ever did was with you. I was still working. This was probably around 2 years ago now. I was still working in my office job. I think I had a suit on. Did I have a suit on as well?
You know
I
what?
might have.
You had the Kramer look going. You had a collared shirt on and a tie, but your sleeves were rolled up. So yeah, I remember
Yes,
that.
yes, perfect. Gone are those days for sure. Now I'm a typical tech guy, but at the end of the day, no, it's always great to be here. It's always great to chat with you guys. And yeah, hit me. What's up?
Okay, well, I'm going to ask you personally, which way do you want this interview to go? Do you want typical Twitter, YouTube, this is just the interview, or do you want to have some fun with it, man? You tell me which way you want to go, and we're going to go that way.
No, let's have some fun. I have another one after this, so I get the best of both worlds.
Wait a minute. So I'm like that's it. You're just running from me to another interview like that, dude. I cannot.
Yeah, it's running from pillar to post over here. It's been crazy. It's starting to heat up again, and it's always great to hop on podcasts and just converse with the community, talk to users, and kind of get a feel for what's going on.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what then, man. With that, because you did go ahead and give me the okay, man. We're just gonna break protocol here. Now, you and I are supposed to song and dance a bit because you know how it goes. In the next show that you're doing right after my show, you know you're gonna do the song and dance. So I don't want to do any of that stuff. So I'm incredibly excited about Andromeda. Now, this is on the cusp for me of incredible, but it has an asterisk. And the beauty is that it takes the onus off from Jackal and puts it on Andromeda because it's their platform. Now, please tell everybody here, and I'm sure you know what I mean by that, why does this partnership excite you so much? And it really should.
Yeah, just in general. So when you look at just crypto products in general, you're boxed in from a user experience and a distribution perspective from the wallet provider and just understanding how to manage cryptographic keys, understanding how to manage software wallets, hardware wallets, and kind of having that big knowledge gap of onboarding people. The beautiful thing about Andromeda in general is the fact that they're kind of building an operating system for Web3. in the area of building an operating system, that means that you need to kind of bring pieces together from the Web3 universe, whether that's DeFi applications, whether that's storage, compute, all these things, so you can have easier adoption for people that aren't crypto traditional users, right? So you want to think about a product like Jackal, where we make the protocol makes money by selling unique terabytes of data storage and kind of being a double-sided marketplace like that. At the end of the day, this kind of gets us one step closer to having enterprise adoption for something like this, where you don't have to use an API and can stay true to the cybersecurity and digital privacy posture of using something like this. So it's exciting for a number of different reasons. Biggest one for me is enterprise adoption and just user experience in general when people are looking to onboard to this space and aren't computer engineers or don't have all the time in the world to just learn the niche pieces of the blockchain universe is probably a good way to put it.
Yeah, and there are a lot of niche pieces. Now we still have an app coming out. I had to light a fire under my devs. I mean, I had to.
Yeah.
That's it, man. You get this day anymore. Give me back everything. Move on. I'll find new devs. So, and I'm sure you've been through that, dude. That's why. Look at him smiling. You know why he's smiling? Because he's like, yeah, I've been there. Yeah, I had to drop the bomb because we need a muse out there, dude. All right, we're doing exactly what you're talking about, man. We're taking away the niche of Web3 data storage, and we're taking care of that. So I had to light the fire, man. I'll let you know in a couple days, but I think we're there. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
I completely understand what you're doing with that. Now, I love the fact that Andromeda is, they're the ones that have to onboard customers. They're the ones that have to get the apps over there. They're the ones that have to do all that stuff. And natively integrating Jackal the way that they do is fantastic, if nothing else, just from a cost perspective. Now, I mentioned ingress and egress. All right, look, we've been getting beat up all day. People are saying, isn't it like Filecoin? Isn't it like Sai? Isn't it like all these other ones? But nobody ever adds context to any of this stuff. Now, while you're explaining ingress and egress, I'm going to upload a file to Jackal, and I'm going to go ahead and play that file from the dashboard. I sure hope it works. That's what's fun about doing this live.
Yeah, hopefully you hit a good provider there, Scott, but it's nothing like live demos. At the end of the day,
we're doing it live. So explain ingress and egress, hot storage, and why this matters. Let's put this to bed right now.
Yeah, it's not necessarily just ingress and egress. It's about having data permissions as well at the protocol level. It's about having programmable privacy. It's about having inter-blockchain communication. So you can have smart contracts calling for data storage instead of having API spaghetti and centralizing everything, right? The reason when you compare Jackal to a lot of different things, the competitive advantages come in all kinds of stuff by just having hot storage by default is something that you don't see rarely, if at all. Having programmable privacy in the chain itself, so only the end user with the private keys can access their data and share their data peer-to-peer without middlemen. You want to look at the ability for interoperability of having, we're going to be building outposts soon on other blockchains. So you can be on any blockchain with smart contracts, call a contract and access data storage. Ingress and egress is a big one as well, where we don't charge for that because we have nowhere to meter it because of the way that distributed systems work in general for something like this, right? So ingress is essentially, and egress is essentially on most storage systems, you don't just pay for the storage space, but you also pay for copying the data or moving the data. Jackal comes with 3 times redundancy that's enforced by the protocol itself using our internal detection of loss and proof of persistence algorithms. What this means is that you'll never have less than 3 times redundancy, so 3 files on the network at a given time. And you don't have to manage that yourself on other networks where you kind of have to kind of manage the deals because most of the networks are marketplace models. So when you upload a file to Jackal, you upload it, and when that upload happens, we don't charge for the upload, we just charge for the storage space in general. And when you get copied from provider or provider, you don't pay for that. And when I send it to another user, you don't pay for that. You just pay for the storage space that you have.
Okay, so again, let's caveat on that just a little bit here. So for a comparable terabyte of data storage over on any centralized service, whether it be Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud, Microsoft, Facebook, anybody, because these guys are all offering up services now. What is going to be the cost? Now, I know the answer, and I'm pretty sure you do too, but I want you to go ahead and spell it out. What would it cost me to get a comparable terabyte of hot data storage on any of these other services?
Yeah, it's pretty expensive. So you're looking at $20 a month per terabyte by default. And then you have to if you're moving the data all around a lot, like most applications do, then you're going to have to like usually budget for 50% of that in egress and ingress.
Yep.
So that's kind of how that operates. There's a great story. You can pull it up on your laptop if you're listening, where NASA purchased storage space. I think it was from AWS, and they put all this these high resolution images into it. And then when they went to download it, and there's people on the internet hitting their service to just pull down images from it. Um, they couldn't afford the data storage at all, which is hilarious. So they kind of had to shut down that program, which sucks. But yeah, hitting cost of data storage is a big thing. So $28 a month is kind of usually what you're looking at. I know that depending if you want hot storage or cold storage or kind of there's all kinds of different options. But head to head for hot storage, we're looking at $8 a month per terabyte with 3 times redundancy. So you're actually getting 3 times 8, which is another interesting piece of that, right? So you're actually getting a lot more storage than you're actually paying for in that sense, head to head. The other thing with that is if you want redundancy and you want multi-region redundancy on another service, you're not only paying for that, but we just talked about the ingress and egress, where you're paying for the storage in the one location. And if you want another location, let's say in Asia, or you want a third location in the US, you're paying for every time they have to copy for that redundancy for you, which when you're looking at just kind of having good redundancy in place, which is important for all kinds of different things. We're going to be looking at $200, $300, depending on how much data is moving around.
Yeah. So again, we're talking about a shocking amount. Now, for those of you who have been watching the screen the whole time, you just saw me send up I don't know how big it was, 400 megabyte. You just watched me push up a 300 megabyte, create a new folder, push up a 300 or 400 megabyte folder over to Jackal, and recall that folder, because as you can see right now, welcome back to the podcast. A very, very incredibly old video that I put up. How old was it? AMP was at 7 cents. Basic attention token was 70. Dog, I don't even know what that is, was 32. Ethereum was 24.63, and OXT was 32 cents. But that's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is you guys just watched me do it live. Now, for those who are asking for the comparison, and Bell, Patrick, I'm going big screen here. For those of you guys who are saying, what's the difference? I will ask each and every single one of you, if you really care and if it really matters to you, try to do what I just did on any decentralized storage platform, any of them. Do exactly what you just saw. And it took less than 60 seconds back and forth every single way. I've tried them all. I've been around to all of them. Nobody can do what Jackal just did. So please keep that in mind as we're going forward. So, Patrick, you should be rest easy, sir. It worked.
Yes.
We must have caught the good provider or something, because
yes.
It's
the
not
protocol worked as expected. Wonderful.
It worked. We hit a Zuko server, dude. You hit the Zukos, man. It tends to work out.
Yeah. The other thing about that, Scott, that you just have, and this is kind of what we like to call the magic moment of using Jackal, is when you upload it and you download it back from the protocol itself. The beautiful thing about that is you have now this public cloud environment where you're the only person in the entire world that has access to that file, which is just crazy. You have the ease of use and scalability and beautiful nature of having a public cloud, but you're the only person that has access to that file. There's no backdoors. There's only the end user with the private key can access and manage your storage. And it's pretty fascinating from that, where you have all that ease of use and scalability, but probably arguably the highest digital privacy and cybersecurity posture on the planet when it comes to data storage and managing your data in general.
And what Patrick is talking about right there, I'm showing your dashboard again, is that there's one person on the planet. Jackal can't even push that button. There's one person on the planet that can push that button, and that's the person who owns the wallet that attached to the Jackal dashboard that sent it up. Jackal sees a chain ID and a file ID, but they have no idea what's in it because it's encrypted off from my system. So they know it exists on the blockchain, it exists at this location, but there is absolutely nothing that they can do with it. They can't open it, they can't unencrypt it, they can't do anything. Am I missing something here, Patrick? Is there?
We can try to we can try to get into it, Scott, but we're going to need a quantum computer, unfortunately. So maybe by the time that they get about this big and then they're just sitting on my desk, maybe I'll get into your file, but hopefully by then we'll increase the encryption. on all the
You,
files. Let's
you know what?
bump it up to 512.
It's a 3-year-old. It's a 3-year-old amp video. So if it's really important to you, go ahead and knock yourself out, man.
And
But it's
then
all.
and then I have to decrypt each individual one as well, which is the best part. I need to be like shooting fish in a barrel, right? So I get Scott's amp video from 3 years ago. I'm looking for the juicy stuff, Scott. So I'm gonna have to decrypt each individual file of my supercomputer before I can get access to what I want, which is pretty crazy as well.
And that's what's funny is I have more faith in your system that I'll put anything up there, dude. If it's that important to you that you want to see my dirty laundry, I don't care. I'm still putting it up there. Knock yourself out. We'll have that conversation afterwards. All right. Anyway, guys,
Yeah, if I'm lucky.
We're coming up to our very first break. We're going with the more serious interview tonight, so we won't be doing a live read, even though I got a brand new one I just got written. So we're gonna take a pass on that one. I want to keep it professional. So guys, if you could please, I got to talk to Patrick about something. Give us 60 seconds. We're gonna be back after this. I'm all done, guys. All right, this is your interview. Bell, I'm sure we have a lot of questions. Bell's gonna go ahead and get them to him. Keep Patrick talking. He's fun like that. Anyway, guys, 60 seconds. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, welcome back to the podcast. Thank you. All right, turning it over to you guys. Everything's up over here, man. I got to harvest some, I have to realize some profits. So I'm turning it over to the chaos coordinator herself, Belle. She's going to basically finish up this interview, but I am listening. So, Belle, go ahead, get it going.
Linton, Patrick, could you give us the expected growth projections in terms of percentage for the user base of the Jackal protocol in the year 2024?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Like we've been exponentially growing, but the thing about Jackal protocol in general, it's more of a B2B use case, and we target internally like B2B uses. So right now, I think we have about 28 companies in the pipeline. If we're able to kind of hit those goals and continue to match that, and if we can scale up the business development and sales team, we might be able to exponentially grow that as well. Hard numbers, it's really hard to say because when we kind of look at startups, it's like the 6 inches in front of your face usually that you want to focus on, and it's kind of going day after day and trying to get 1% better every day for us. So I don't have any hard numbers because when you look at our growth trajectory, it's all over the place right now over the last year. But once we start to see a little bit more of a trend, it'll be easier for me to share that. Also, all the data is public as well. So you can watch it in real time. You can hit our APIs and see how many unique users there are on the protocol at a given moment, how much churn is happening as well. That's a little bit easier from that perspective. So it's hard for me to give you something, and I would love to give you something and stick to it, but I don't have enough data for me to kind of give that to you as well.
All right, next question coming in from Mud23. How does Jackal protocol integrate RAID technology into its blockchain storage solution?
So that's kind of up to the storage providers in general, right? So each storage provider can build their computer how they want to build it for providing storage to the network. When you look at the Jackal protocol in general, there's 2 peer-to-peer networks. One is the validator set, one's the storage providers, and that's kind of one's like the blockchain, one's the decentralized physical infrastructure network of providers of the network. Everyone can build their computers how they want. If they want to do RAID, they can do RAID. If they don't want to do RAID, they don't have to do RAID. But at the end of the day, that's the beauty of self-sovereignty and kind of hacking away to try to get the best performance out of your machine possible.
All right, next one coming in from Wolf Bites. Is there a mobile app for Jackal yet to sync and back up your photos?
I don't know, Scott, is there?
You know, sometimes, man, you gotta. I'm not. I am in fact the CEO of the podcast, but I don't really wear that moniker because come on, man, it's me and Bell. I'm not gonna be. I am CEO and Bell is co-CEO. When you work with developers, man, they can get a little flighty sometimes, and I get it, man. It's kind of cool. You go off there, you get a new idea. Everything you learn, it leads to something else. So they're gonna come up there and chase the lights on another nifty idea. But sometimes you got to put the boot down and say, all right, but we're paying for this right now, so why don't we build this right now? It should be coming. I'll let you guys know in 3 days. So either I have a product that I'm ready to present, or I'm looking for new developers to finish up the last little bit of code. So give me 3 days. I'll let you know. There's the answer.
And
yep.
Just to clarify the question as well. So Scott's working on a product called Amuse, which is like Jackal storage for Android, where it kind of abstracts all the blockchain technology away. So you kind of just get access to Jackal's scalability and price point and have all those wonderful things. There's other people. We're looking at that kind of having mobile applications as well in general. We haven't approached it just because we're trying to get the V4 upgrade out and kind of other quality of life things along with our lengthy 2024 roadmap that we're hopefully going to be putting out pretty soon. But the issue with mobile for blockchain in general, and you'll know if you're a mobile user, usually for you to interact with blockchain technology on mobile, you have to go to the kind of wallet app, and then you use the browser in the wallet app so you can have your public and private keys kind of purpose built for that use case. So if we built a dashboard that can kind of integrate with Leap Wallet's mobile, then that would kind of be like the path of least resistance to getting Jackal storage interface kind of through the dashboard in general through your mobile browser. Having a purpose-built app, it's not really on the horizon right now, just because of the development that have to go into it, and we kind of need to clear the deck of everything that we have currently in our pipeline before we can approach it and kind of have our own wallet built into that application. There's a lot of moving parts to get that done, and it kind of goes back to the distribution being at the wallet provider level in general for blockchain technology.
Yeah, and I'll give it back to you in a second here. Don't worry about that, Patrick. We got it. I got it. So we're going to do Android, then iOS is going to be coming out shortly after. People, it turns out, this is kind of weird. People like money, and it's weird. I mean, it's a terrible concept in the blockchain world, but people like money, and if you give them money, they'll do things for you. It's pretty cool. So yeah, we're gonna get it worked out, man. You guys do you. I'm gonna go ahead and leverage the hell out of all of your efforts and maybe make a penny or two. Anyway, carry on, Bell.
New type. With the announcement of Saga's airdrop, crypto gaming launchpad for Cosmos, will Jackal make a partnership with them? Feels like a no-brainer for gaming and storage to partner up.
I'm muted, of course. Yeah, no, they would be great. I know Jaden DeGenis in Mexico right now. He's our BD lead. He's probably jumping up and down in his seat. I think we have a call coming up with them shortly, actually. So it would be great to chat with them. We like everything in the gaming space in general, just storing media assets and having other integrations with that technology. And we think it's fascinating. We think gaming's great. So yeah, 100%. Hopefully we can get a partnership kind of sealed with them and get them onboarded and get them in the integration pipeline. It'd be wonderful.
Ruben Upon, how are you going to get people like me who don't know shit about data to use Jackal? I see one of the things is low price, but how long can that stay if the price of Jackal is going to go up?
Ooh,
yeah. That's a wonderful question. So
yeah,
Jackal hedges against that. So Jackal, we have an oracle built into the blockchain, and we peg it at $8 a month USDC. So that means that every time you show up at Jackal, it's always going to be $8 a month per terabyte. The only thing that's going to change that, let's say that, okay, it's too cheap, the protocol's not making enough revenue, we have all these issues, then governance steps in and they decide what they want the price of storage to be. In the V4 signaling proposal, people wanted to increase the cost of storage to $16 a month per terabyte. That's still oodles cheaper than everything else on the market, including the no ingress and egress, plus you get 3 times redundancy by default with that. So yeah, it's the price is always going to be the price on the Jackal protocol via our on-chain oracle. The other question that you had is understanding data and using Jackal and like what does that mean? It's like Dropbox, really, at the end of the day, to simplify it. We use all these big words to make us feel smarter than everyone else, but we're not. At the end of the day, a file is just a file on your computer. If you want a place to put that, or you want to clear space off your computer and put your file in the Jackal protocol and have that as your cloud environment, like your Google Cloud or like your Dropbox, and have a really high digital privacy and cybersecurity posture, that's up to you. And if you like that, feel free to come to the Discord. We can walk you through every step of the way as well.
All right. Nico's Pen, are there any plans in adding some liquidity on Shade? Also, please make the UI more beautiful when you have time.
Oh yeah, that's on the roadmap. I know if Aaron's watching as well, he's excited about that. We had a big long kind of powwow for the Jackal Protocol team, Jackal Labs team. That's the core development team for the Jackal Protocol. That is where we kind of went into everything that we want to do in 2024. That was one of the top ones, as well as overhauling the dashboard, spitting RNS out and do his own thing. There's a lot of alpha in general from the 2024 roadmap.
Into the Cosmos, if Patrick can talk about it, would be cool to know more about what is happening with MS365 backup and recovery on Jackal dashboard.
Yeah, so that's an integration question, right? So what we're looking at right now is we've been doing a lot of interviews with people in the MSP space. So when I say MSP, I mean managed service provider. These are the people where you have a clinic or you have a law firm or a business and you want to outsource the tech support and outsource all that techie stuff that you kind of want to focus on your business and not focus on. They have, we've heard over and over again that people are having issues with their current Microsoft 365 backup service because it's getting bought by private equity firms. They're getting rolled up and they're hiking the price on the guys and they're having like really hard time getting support for it. So we were thinking about kind of building our own MS365 integration so that you can kind of pull everything out of your MS365 environment. So your mail, your Meet, your all of that Microsoft products. I'm not a Microsoft user, so I wouldn't know, but they have a suite of applications in general that we can back up all that data onto the protocol. Building that is going to take some time. We're probably looking hopefully by the end of this year. I almost said next year. It's January 4th. Good thing I caught myself there. But yeah, and end of the day, we're going to be building it and we're excited about it in general. And if you have time to build it, you might beat us to the punch, but we're hot on your heels as well. If you looking to build on the Jackal protocol, JavaScript libraries got an overhaul, so that's really exciting. So it's going to be a lot better of a builder experience as well.
All right. Always Wanderlust. Can you become a storage provider and how do you do it?
Oh yeah, the best way to do that is the docs is the big one. What's better than the docs is the storage provider Discord channel. There's all kinds of storage providers in there that are just awesome in general. They've supported all kinds of people. And from there, you spin up your machine and you're providing storage to our decentralized physical infrastructure network and contributing to the Jackal protocol, which is wonderful. So you need to be a little bit technical at this current moment, just because of the nature of building kind of decentralized physical infrastructure network. It's not a light task, is probably the way I put it. But at the end of the day, if you're technical and you kind of build computers and you understand all that stuff, you shouldn't have an issue with it at all.
All right. Jack Sparrow, given the huge increase in data storage needs, what happens 3 to 5 years from now when Bezos says, I'm here to buy Jackal Labs, etc.?
Sorry, I cut out for the first 2 seconds of that. Something about Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, Jack Sparrow. Given the huge increase in data storage needs, what happens in 3 to 5 years from now when Bezos says, I'm here to buy Jackal Labs, etc.?
Bezos, classic. Jackal can be sold. He would have to kind of market buy all the tokens, and if that happens, we'll all be very happy. Other than that, like he can kind of like OTC from individuals that are willing to sell their stake in the protocol for governance rights to the protocol. If he wants to do that, he'd be interested. But the better thing is he can actually plug all those servers into the Jackal protocol and provide storage of idle servers through AWS. that might be the better play at the end of the day. But
No, actually, I think the better play would be buying them out. I'll ask you this a different way, Patrick. How happy would I be if Bezos bought you out?
I don't know, Scott.
You
I don't
know,
know
you
how
can
happy
say
would
it.
be.
It's okay, man. We all know.
Yeah. Anyways, people can buy Jackal Labs. We're not selling. My exit strategy right now is death. So that's pretty much it right now for us. We're kind of focused on the midterm, and it would be really unlikely that something like that would happen. But if it did, end of the day, you'd have to kind of acquire a majority stake in governance of the protocol to buy something Jackal protocol out, quote unquote.
All right.
So that's kind of
One second about. Can I have your verbal consent to use that line? Because that was funny, dude. My exit liquidity.
which
Or
one?
my exit plan is death.
My exit
My exit
strategy is death.
strategy is death.
Can I have your verbal consent to use that on Twitter?
Yeah,
Because that's funny.
you can use that whenever you want, Scott. Just for you.
Beautiful. All right, go Bill.
All right. Next one from Jay. Can you elaborate on what you mean by B2B for those that may not understand that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's I'm confusing everyone with just silly business jargon at this point. So B2B stands for business to business. So usually our target users, although we have like a wonderful application that we want to continue to maintain for just everyone to kind of use Jackal like a Dropbox, the Jackal protocol becomes more healthy by storing large data sets. And the truth of the matter is that individuals, myself included, like we only have like so many memes to store before I run out of things to store. So with that, unless you're Scott and you make videos every week, but for us to kind of have the protocol in a place where it's cash flow positive and all these different things, you kind of need really large data sets to come onto the protocol. And people who have large data sets are primarily businesses. So whether that's NFT marketplaces, whether that's people that are doing CCTV camera footage, you can look at people that are building games and having large files and assets like that. So the things that we look at predominantly is, or even AI training data, data sets, governing access to data, things along those lines, peer-to-peer transfer, e-discovery, stuff like that. So that's kind of what we focus on is really large data sets. And when we want large data sets, it's primarily business to business is the focus for us internally.
All right, I'm going to give it back to you in a second, Bill. Tell me about Flix, because you guys have been talking to Flix. Now, if we're interested in large data sets, clearly Flix provides large data sets. Can you expand on that partnership just a little bit?
Yeah. So what we're excited about for guys like OmniFlix, we can get the football to the 1 yard line, but at the end of the day, a lot of that is we get it all the way there, and it's just a waiting game for their developers. As you know, Scott, getting developers to do things sometimes takes a while, but it has to go in the queue for their development team to kind of do that integration. So we can give them all the tools, we can get them to the 1 yard line, but at the end of the day, they have to flip the switch for that to integrate. So they're verbally committed to it. I have no reason why they would ever kind of not commit to it. Both of our communities are pretty aligned with that decision. So we're excited for the day that they're fully integrated.
All right, go Bill.
All right. I see you. Did Patrick try to speak with casino data specialists to save all of their CCTV footage on Jackal?
I never
CCTV camera footage?
Mm-hmm.
We've spoken with a lot of people that have really large CCTV camera footage. Do you want a funny story about CCTV camera footage? We've spoken to quite a few people, and the thing that we hear quite a bit is everyone upgraded to your security team. They go to do the budget meeting, and they go, "We need 8K cameras in this establishment to make sure that we're very, very secure and it's fortified." Awesome idea. So they buy these 8K cameras and they stick them up in the ceilings and they pay for all the installation, all that stuff, right? Everyone's happy. They have this very high quality. They can read your credit card information, all that good stuff. It's that powerful. Then they realize that the Microsoft Azure cloud bills are really, really expensive and they can only afford to store the camera footage for 14 days. That sucks. They are usually a lot of legislation says they're liable for something for up to 30 days where you have to kind of call or something happens. We've heard things where people found out on Reddit at a big organization that you can claim a lost something or other. I can't really get too specific here. You can claim it that you've lost something, and within a 30-day period, but after 14 days, all the camera footage is gone. So you have this 15-day period where you can claim, and then you get automatically paid out. Womp womp. So making sure that you have a really good place to store your data and having wonderful, hyper secure cloud storage is also pretty fascinating for a use case like that. But that's my story of the evening.
You know,
All right.
I'll give it back to you. I know I said I was going to disappear, man, but it's a podcast. Come on. My last name is Podagil, so come on. Here we go. I never considered casinos. It never even breached it, man. But do you know how much video is going through casinos at any given time, dude, with the AK and all that other stuff? That is shocking. And the funny thing is that I've done work in all of these casinos. They all have servers. They all have UPS backup. I'm a UPS specialist. So I've worked in all these casinos, man, but it never occurred to me to go look in that direction, dude. That is massive. A round of applause for everybody out there, for whoever asked that question, man, because that was fantastic. Okay, anyway, back to you, Belle. Go.
All right. So next one coming in from Eric. Yeah, Eric, you've been on a lot lately. Is anything lost when using a Jackal outpost on a different chain? Privacy?
No. So the way that the outposts work is you have like this smart contract on that chain, right? So you have that smart contract on that chain, and then you have like an isolated JavaScript client, and then you have the Jackal protocol, and then you have the decentralized physical infrastructure network. The file will go from that user's computer straight to the decentralized physical infrastructure network of storage providers. And then on that chain, the contract will make calls through IDC to the Jackal protocol in general, where it will update file trees and buy storage and kind of create accounts and do all that good stuff on the protocol level, so that file stays on the storage network and doesn't get kicked off. So that's kind of how that operates, where you purchase storage. You might have to be a little bit more expensive depending on that smart contract might take a little fee to make sure that it's kind of like a sound business in general of kind of providing storage on that network in general. End of the day, it doesn't affect privacy or anything like that. It might affect the price maybe a little bit, but that's pretty much it.
New type. NFTs are not NFTs because people own just a JPEG chain ID that is linked to an image. Could Jackal have a use case of real image ownership in the NFT marketplace?
Real image ownership in the NFT marketplace. That kind of lies on the NFT providers themselves. So Jackal sells picks and shovels for people to do awesome things, to build web scale applications on blockchain technology, especially when we're looking at the storage layer, right? With that, do we have the technology to be able to do that? 100%. It's whether or not the NFT marketplace is interested in building that specific application, or if we want to build that specific application, having the ability for you to actually own that specific NFT. Because that's a common thing. People think that the NFT is actually stored on the protocol itself. Not really the case, unless like it's in, I think they call them ordinals or inscriptions.
Yeah,
where you can kind of get like a really, really small file into the chain. That's why they're always like 8-bit or something like that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's important for you to have a really, really verifiable way that your NFT gets protected and having backups of those NFTs. So the integration that we're doing right now with a lot of NFT marketplaces, starting as a backup and slowly eating more of and providing more of the applications to that NFT marketplace, whether hopefully moving to like the active cloud environment instead of the backup service, for example. But you kind of need to take that first step before getting there. End of the day, we have the technology to be able to do that. And we think it's really, really important for you to have self-custody and ownership of that NFT media file and not kind of be pointing to an AWS server somewhere that hopefully your file stays there, and if it gets deleted, whoops. So yeah, and it is what it is, right? And it's trying to build resilient systems, and that's kind of why we're on blockchain in the first place.
Hey, 1 second, but I think that's funny, man. That he goes, I'm looking at my picture here, and I understand that I'm totally washed out right now. I'm sorry, I didn't put on my makeup today, so you get what you get. I happen to glance at a comment. Patrick, are you familiar with secret admirers? Have you heard that term?
I've heard of it. Someone on our team brought it up once, and kind of having something like that. They're on Stash, correct?
They're built on secret. So,
Okay.
have you heard of secret admirers? Are you again? You've heard of them, but do you know what they do? What they're
No,
about?
I'd love for you to tell me this, Scott.
Decentralized. What is that called, Bell? I'm sorry, man. I drew a blank right now. It's like the whole big thing right now for young.
Like decentralized OnlyFans?
There it is. There it is. Thank you.
Decentralized OnlyFans.
Yes,
Wow.
and it's actually very, very close to going live right now. Have you been in conversations with secret admirers? And the reason I ask is it's not really my cup of tea, dude. I'm 52. All right, I'm past all that point in my life. But we're talking about chunks of data. We're talking about big chunks of data. We're talking about massive chunks of data. So or is it data or data? I'm going to say data because it makes me sound more intelligent. We're talking about whopping big chunks of data. Have you been in conversation with secret admirers? And if you haven't, can I make an introduction?
I think we had like a brief conversation with them a few months ago, but I can't remember if it went anywhere or not. I'm gonna have to circle back with the guys. But yeah, we're open to any and all data being stored on the platform as we can give them the tools to kind of use the storage network. It provides a very important piece of their tech stack for their application, for their technology. So
Sure, sure.
we'd be happy to chat with them.
And you wouldn't mind 3 and 4 hour long videos that happen to be uploaded over to Jackal Storage, right? Because that's a lot of data, man. You kind of cool with that?
Yeah, we love having data on the network at the end of the day, Scott. And
That's all it
actually,
comes down to.
we won't support the integration unless you actually sign up, is the thing. If you
Is
sign up, then we'll do it.
if I sign up for secret admirers, I've been
Yeah.
trying. I've been hitting them up, trying to say, hey, why don't you come on for an interview? Because I guarantee you that would be a very, very interesting one. I'm trying to get them on board. But look, man, at the end of the day, it comes down to cost, right? Because they're a business, you're a business, everybody's a business, and I'm sorry, but you guys are cheaper. It is what it is. Belle, please carry on.
Nico's Pan, can you check from the APIs how many users bought and are using storage? Also, total available space on the chain?
Yeah, absolutely. I can come to the Discord and then I can give it to you as well. Right now, yeah, unique users, 370 unique users. Still early days for us, but a lot of those users are larger organizations as well. You have to think about that too, right? Yeah, it has everything's in bytes, so it has purchased, used ratio, so 14% of all storage purchases being used. Yeah, we have all the data that your heart desires. We just need, if anyone wants to build like a proper data visualization and analytics platform, so we can have that, that would be awesome. That's on the back burners for us right now, but it's a really important piece of the protocol in general, just having all that heads up.
Okay, at what point are you going to be alarmed about the amount of data storage that you're using right now? At what point are you going to go to the community and say, "Hey, we need some more storage providers"? What percentage do you have to be used before you're concerned?
I think that the market will take, I'm a free market guy, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I think the market will take care of itself, where if there's that much storage on the network and all the providers are starting to overheat, it's probably going to be very profitable to be a storage provider at that point, right? End of the day, once we start getting like 75%, I'd start to get a little bit shaky. But end of the day, we think that the market will take care of itself, and it's profitable to be a storage provider. More people will spin up machines,
Okay,
and
well,
that's kind of what we saw, right?
I'm asking as a personal thing because I got another petabyte that's just sitting there doing nothing, dude. It's just cooling its heels. But I don't want to bring it on until you actually need it because you understand that there's a cost to infrastructure, right? So yeah,
Yeah,
you know what?
we have oodles and oodles and oodles of storage space available. I think we're at like 2 petabytes right now in total. Um, yeah, some people listening are probably like, "What's a petabyte?"
It's a
It's
lot of
a
videos.
it's a lot of storage. So kind of getting to a place where we are actually selling a lot of storage and kind of finding the demand side of the market and finding product market fit is super important at the end of the day. So getting to that is really important for us in general.
Awesome. Belle, do we got enough questions to take us to the end of the stream here?
Oh, I think so. I
Okay,
think so.
I'm going to stop doing drop-ins. Go ahead and finish this up.
Ruben upon, what happens when you do invoke your exit strategy? Death.
When you die. What happens when you die,
You
dude?
started that.
When I die, well, luckily for everyone, the Jackal protocol is open source and it's owned by everyone at the end of the day, right? So if I die, all my Jackal tokens, I guess, are burned, unless I have unless I have like a good good estate plan, which now that I think about that, that's probably might be a smart thing to do.
Oh,
25,
jeez.
26. So yeah, end of the day, if I die, the protocol will live on. It's if the validators keep running and if the storage providers keep on running around storage and there's people that are willing to um, contribute to the protocol from the code base standpoint and kind of ship code, it continues to live on. Blockchains are notoriously really hard to kill in general. Is Sif Chain still making blocks right now? I wouldn't be surprised if they are.
Sif Chain is
Um,
still making blockchains, dude. They're still
Sif Chain's
producing blocks.
still
The
making
RPCs are
blocks.
still up. Yeah, man.
Terra's still making blocks, you know.
Pe-
So at the end of the day, these things are hard to kill, and they live on, and they're resilient by nature, and that's kind of the value proposition of them in general, is resilience and kind of geo distribution and self custody and ownership and programmable privacy and all those good things, and kind of the reason why we're in this technology and we're all here to begin with, right?
yeah, it's the pet cemetery. Carry on, Belle.
All right. I see you. Patrick, is there any pending announcement between a collaboration between Jackal and Microsoft? You gave some hints on Twitter.
Yeah, collaboration between Jackal and Microsoft. We don't need their permission to kind of build a
No,
MS365 backup service, right?
no, you don't.
And that's the best part, right?
Mhm.
So it's a permissionless. All we need is the ability for us to interface with their API, and then we're good to go. Um, so with that, we could kind of partner with them and kind of apply for a listing in the Microsoft application store. I guess that's what a partnership looks like in that sense. But end of the day, we're probably gonna have to grow quite a little bit before we'll get like a full Microsoft. A partnership, in my mind, would be Microsoft spinning up storage providers or integrating their servers into the Jackal protocol and providing storage or using their idle storage capacity. That's what kind of I would see as a partnership, unless we're looking to build like a bespoke product for someone. That would kind of be another partnership where they want to build a super secure data transfer system or data storage system. That's would be a good partnership between Jackal Labs and Microsoft, but Microsoft can't really partner with the Jackal protocol. Maybe they could do a governance proposal, but, yeah, at the end of the day, we're looking to be building integrations with everyone's favorite SaaS products at the end of the day, and Microsoft is a good place to start.
Jack Sparrow, Patrick, because Jackal storage is decentralized, what do you guys have in place or plan to in order to have say a minimum level of speed, Wi-Fi and CPU, and quality of hardware?
Oh,
Yeah,
whitelisting.
as comes to whitelisting, V4 kind of does that in its own right. So if you're unable to prove that you have files, then you get kind of cut from storing that file, right? So the storage providers are going to govern themselves. Where we move from something called submitting proofs to the chain directly, and then we started doing this consensus sphere. We have a good blog on it as well. Consensus spheres, where we have off-chain confirmation of files being stored, and then the storage providers submit attestations to the chain itself, which kind of gives us a lot more of a scalability boost. So the way that kind of systematically proves that if they can't have the system requirements to do that process, then they're kind of kicked off the island. They're voted off the island of the Jackal protocol, unfortunately. But there's other things that we can do as well, where we have kind of provider scoring is another thing that we can do, where we can kind of have upvotes and downvotes, or we can have things where storage providers are scored various different ways by end users or by the providers themselves or by the validators. It just comes with time and kind of building those safeguards. End of the day, if the other thing is we're looking at we're moving to universal files as well, which is another thing in V4 upgrade where you don't have to like sign beforehand for the upload process to commence. You sign before the upload process commences rather than waiting for the upload to happen, then you sign. And then hopefully the protocol will be able to take care of that for you. So you kind of, that's more of a mental thing, but it's making sure that you perceive a better user experience. And that's kind of half the game when it comes to UX and UI is tricking people into thinking that it's very, very fast and stuff like that. But end of the day, we're just looking to build the best product possible.
Fantastic. How many questions we got left, Bill?
We've got 4 more left.
All right, lightning round.
All right.
We got 4 questions in 6 minutes. So go. Lightning round.
Ruben upon, is it possible to run out of available space? In other words, more people want data than offer it?
Yeah, it's 100% possible, but the economics would incentivize storage providers to spin up, right? It's kind of like hash rate for mining cryptocurrency. It's kind of like one of those metrics where if a lot of people are demanding storage, then the value that storage providers are making increases, and it incentivizes storage providers to create more machines or third parties to enter the network as well. So it's the market should be able to take care of itself. And so really, there was a lot of thinking that went into this new economic model with the V4 upgrade as well.
All right, I see you. Is there a way for people to sell Jackal's storage to a third party, sort of an affiliate program?
Oh yeah, so we have kind of like an affiliate referral program where if you provide an RNS and they sign up using that RNS, you get like a hefty kickback, which is really cool. So you can go and onboard all kinds of different businesses in your neighborhood or business that you work at, or if you own a business and you want to integrate. So that's great. Or even just referring your friends to kind of get awesome decentralized Dropbox. You can use a referral program and get a kickback that way. Other ways that you can do that is you can spin up business where say, okay, I want to provide maybe not like the privacy aspect, but the high security part for ransomware backups or just kind of cloud storage in general. And you can spin up a business, throw all the data on Jackal, and then sell it to businesses as well. And you'd be a trusted intermediary between and abide by all the laws in your geographic region and all that good stuff. So yeah, it's entirely possible.
I see you. Where can we learn the steps to be a storage provider? As I understand, it's not that trivial.
Yeah, Jackal documentation. So docs.jackalprotocol.com is one good one. And the other best way is the storage provider chat in the Discord. That's where you get the most support and the most help if you have any questions.
Mad scientist, will there be any listing on exchanges or just DeFi and osmosis?
Yeah, we're always talking about centralized exchange up listings. We just have to get we kind of want a stronger base and a larger market cap before we do that, so we don't become a little bit vulnerable to centralized exchange volumes and things like that. So end of the day, it's not a question of when, it's an if. It's not a question of if, it's a when question. So we're probably we're targeting that for this year, and we're talking with market makers doing a lot of good stuff.
Very, very last question coming in from Jack Sparrow. Should I be concerned about Microsoft and others like AWS partnering? They are constantly getting subpoenas by law enforcement for access to data, and they are sometimes required to provide.
God, that's
they always
that's
provide.
A good question, man.
They always provide, just by default. So when it comes to Jackal, you can provide the information. If someone comes to us, we provide the information that we have, right? We'll provide, if they know a CID or something like that, we can say this is where the file is, and that's where you have to find it, and you have wallet addresses and things like that. But at the end of the day, it's making sure that it's a question of privacy being a fundamental human right, yes or no, right? And we have a strong belief that privacy is dying, if not dead already. And we think it's really important to kind of support the aspect that privacy is a fundamental human right. And I come from a digital forensics investigations background. There's right ways to do things and wrong ways to do things. And you're going to get caught if you do something bad. But at the end of the day, violating people's privacy by kind of backdooring into third-party applications is probably not the most ideal way to do that.
That was the last one.
Fantastic.
That's it.
Then
Wow.
I will take it over for just a minute here, guys. Privacy is an absolutely fundamental human right. And when you use Google, when you use Microsoft, when you use Amazon Web Services, what you're doing is giving them your data. That's exactly what you're doing. You are handing that over to them and saying, "Trust me, bro." And they're more than happy to take it. They're more than happy to bill the hell out of you. But as soon as you give it to them, you've given them the rights, the ownership, everything. I work in these places. I'm telling you, this is what happens. If you want your private data to stay private, you got an option here. That's all I'm saying. Now, there's tons of them. You go to Filecoin site, anything like that. If you want the hot storage, if you want to be able to do exactly what I just did right now, Jackal's the only game in town. So anyway, Patrick, please, I know you got a bolt, man. 30 seconds. Talk it up, talk it out, and we'll hand it over to Bell.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me as always. At the end of the day, if this is something that interests you, if you think you want to be a storage provider, you want to be a user, your business that wants to store data and have a high privacy and security posture for your business and your clients' data, reach out to us. Come to the Discord, join the community, and it's a ton of fun at the end of the day. So we're happy to have you, and thanks for taking the time to have me, Scott and Bell.
Love it, man. Bell, get us out of here.
All right. Again, as always, ladies and gentlemen, we cannot say thank you guys enough. Those comments and questions that you were throwing out to Patrick were absolutely fantastic this evening. If we are going to be back on Saturday at our normal time of 6 p.m. Central Standard, in between now and Saturday, if you guys have any more comments, questions, or concerns, definitely don't hesitate to reach out to Scott or myself, Scott at ThePodocast.com or Bella at ThePodocast.com, and we'll get those answered for you. If you guys have any more questions for Patrick that didn't get answered on the stream tonight, go ahead and email those over to me at Bella at ThePodocast.com, and I will forward those on to Patrick so you get an answer. Again, we cannot thank you guys enough, and we will see you on Saturday.
We are dropping new videos and podcasts every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And be sure to look for us on Instagram, Twitter, and Parler at ThePodocasts. Also, visit our page at ThePodocasts.com, all one word, for all of our most current content.